On Sports Radio, The Ticket.
Welcome back, Idaho Sports Talk. Early signing period kicked off yesterday, and Idaho representing the University of Idaho exceptionally well. What a class, what a day it was for the Vandals. We're being joined by head football coach Jason Eck. Prater, 9 Idaho high school football players are now scholarship athletes at the University of Idaho. Several more walk-ons as well. Jason Eck, live from his new kitchen. Looks like he moved into his house. Coach, I like the looks, man. The house that Eck built. Looking good. Welcome.
Hey, good to see you guys, man. Merry Christmas. I give my wife the full credit for the kitchen.
All right, Coach. I'm starting you off just pretty broad here with this recruiting class. What were your impressions of it? What did you need to get done that you feel you got done? And obviously, you said all along you're going to put fences up around this state. It looks like you did that.
Yeah, we really wanted to be aggressive with this class, numbers-wise. Our first year coming in, we didn't want to make any mistakes by taking guys that we weren't 100% on. So it was a little smaller class last year, and this year with having the full cycle in 12 months to do our research on kids, we really wanted to be aggressive, both scholarship and really good walk-ons who could become scholarship players down the road. And it starts in the Northwest. So getting so many kids from Idaho and Washington, a couple kids from Oregon, I think that really fits along with how we want to build our program.
Coach, what about the quantity here, the number of 39, and you guys, kudos to you guys for getting a whole bunch of football players in what is considered like a transition era. And the 39, how difficult is it to go out and lasso 39 players to fit your specific needs? That's a lot of work, dude.
Yeah, I think our staff did a tremendous job. And again, I think we really wanted to be on the front end. Again, we didn't want to wait and, to have our beliefs on other guys validated by other people getting offers. We really wanted to be, do the work early and do our own evaluations and then go get the guys that we wanted. And again, I think that's not always been the way it's been in the Big Sky, but I think we want to be aggressive and be on the front end of things. And, I learned some lessons just my first year as a head coach. We finished the season with 103 players. Where I think 110 is what you can come into training camp with, and we got to be aggressive in the era of the transfer portal. I think you're going to have some backups who always are trying to look for more playing time and things. So I think I learned from those airlines who sell more tickets than they have seats on the airplane. I think you got to do that in recruiting too to make sure you're not short, because I think that hurt us a little bit at the end of the year, some of our depth.
But we're going to dive into the specifics here in just a little bit, but just give us that big, speaking of airplanes, that big, broad 33,000-foot overview. What were your specific priorities in terms of positions of need? What were the positions that you chased after more than anybody else for your next football season?
Well, I think one of the biggest things, Prater, for us to go from being a team in the playoffs to being one of the true contenders to win it is we got to get better at the line of scrimmage. And I think you'll see that with the offense and defensive lines. About 15 of the guys we signed are big guys who fit into those two spots. So I think those two things are something we really targeted. I wouldn't have minded signing one more tight end. We took 3. So really you throw that, and that's another place we got to keep getting better. But I think that was the starting point. And then you always got to have electric skill guys. You saw that this year. So, guys like Day Buchanan, who was, about the best running back in the state of Arizona this year. He was a big pickup for us. Really like both of our receivers we picked up. Hamper out of Oregon is kind of that Hayden Hatton body type, big and strong. And then Emerson Cortez, from Salinas, California, he's an electric speedster down there. So you always got to fill in those spots and get some good skill guys, but the line of scrimmage was surely the emphasis this year.
Coach, you got a defensive lineman from Australia, Malachi Railton Stewart, I believe I'm saying his name correctly, 6'5", 260. How the hell did you find this guy?
You know what? We were pretty lucky because he showed up. He came to camp last year, and he kicked butt at our camp. He, there's a lot of these, foreign, recruiting services now that kind of organize these trips. And these guys go on little caravans throughout the country to try to get scholarships from these places. And he was part of one from Australia. And I believe he went to 12 U.S. camps last year. And I think we were the last one. And he earned a couple scholarship offers along the way, and we were able to get him locked up. He's a little bit older. He's 19 years old, so he's coming at the semester and has continued to work hard in the weight room since he was at camp. He really didn't play. He kind of had exhausted his eligibility down in Australia, so he just trained all fall, had some good weight in the weight room, and we're excited to see if he could help us out through spring ball and in the fall.
Idaho Vandals football coach Jason Eck, one day after the signing day. Well, actually, we're in the middle of this signing period as we speak right now. 39 new names, 39 new members of the Idaho Vandals family. Coach, I know you got a quarterback that's going to stick around for a couple of years. You're very, very excited about him, but I only see one quarterback on this list, Jack Wagner, freshman kid out of Oregon. Is he a walk-on guy? Is he a Scully guy? And what exactly is your approach to quarterback? So many college coaches just like to have one for every class. How do you address that position?
That's about where we'd like to be. I think we'd like to be at, you really have to have 5, we think, to really go into a season with. I think it makes it tough to practice if you don't have 5 arms. So Jack was a scholarship player, committed to us before the season started. He had Montana State in our league. So I thought that was a good team for us to beat, knowing that they've been in the Final Four these last couple of years. But he's tall, he's athletic. I think athleticism and accuracy are probably the 2 biggest things for us. You got to be able to extend plays, because to beat the best teams, you're not going to be able to just stand in the pocket and have it be like 7-on-7. You look like when we beat Montana this year, Giovanni had to make a great throw, like off platform, getting hit while he throws for one of the touchdown passes. He really got hit on both of the touchdown passes in that game. So you got to be able to move and extend plays, and then you got to be accurate. You got to have an arm that can put it on guys.
Coach, I love this staff from the Treasure Valley's perspective, and there's a lot of people who've seen these kids play high school football in this valley a long time. They're going to have to drive up and see them play in the Kibbe Dome. You got a couple of kids from Rocky. You got a kid from Meridian, Mountain View, Nampa. These are just the scholarship players you've offered from the Valley, but there's a number of walk-ons as well. Was this a particularly good year? And by the way, Idaho State signed no one. You didn't have to worry about them coming in and stealing maybe one of these kids for more playing time to offer or whatnot. Just your thoughts, Coach. You really went hard on kids in the Treasure Valley, and I know a lot of people in the state appreciate that.
Well, I think we'll continue to do that. I think the Treasure Valley football, the big schools in that valley are very well coached. I think they have probably as good a coaching staffs as any metro area across the country. Good off-season weight programs. There's good structure. There's good off-season programs where the kids can work out, away from their high school coaches as well. So, as the population down in the Treasure Valley keeps growing, I think there's going to be more and more players. And, a big point of emphasis, I think, for us being in the Northwest is, you look at the Northwest, the 3 states with Idaho, Oregon, and Washington. Boise State's the only group of 5 team in those 3 states. And I think Boise signed, maybe 1 kid from Idaho and 2 from Washington or something.
Yeah.
And you just look at it, there's not a lot of group of 5 teams that hammer those 3 states. So if we can get the best guys that are right below that Power 5 level or right below what they take, there's good players. And that's, I think that's something that I see when we go to California. There's a lot of, group of 5 competition where there's not as much in the Northwest. And I think there's a lot of these kids in Boise that if they were in a different part of the country, maybe would have more things going on. If they were in Chicago, maybe, MAC offers and things, but these guys could be really good FCS players. So I don't think this year is going to be an anomaly. I think there's going to be multiple kids we're signing every year from the Treasure Valley.
Coach, you expect a few of these kids? I mean, you had a lot of true freshmen play for you last year, running backs, wide receivers, skill position players. I mean, I know, time will tell, but how shocked are you going to be if 2, 3, 4, 5 of these kids are immediate impact helpers? You said last year when you got the job, being an FCS, it does take more time to develop some players. I think you were referencing offensive linemen. Maybe it's different with skill position players. Are we possibly going to see some of these names become household names next season, man?
I think so. We want to be aggressive with trying to keep those guys, having urgency to get better. We don't want them relaxing. We want them having urgency to keep improving as players. And I think with this new rule where you can play up to 4 games and still redshirt, we got guys like Jordan Dwyer out of Puyallup who redshirted this year, but really had 4 games of really meaningful snaps. Had a touchdown against Washington State, a touchdown against Indiana. So even though he redshirted, I think he got a lot of development, a lot of competition that will help him throughout his career. And really, he had an injury that kind of played a part in him redshirting. And he probably would have played in more than 4 games if he didn't get injured. So we want these guys to keep their foot in the gas this whole spring when they're training before they get here in the summer and see what they can do. And I think we only ended up having 3 guys who played in more than 4 games last year, with probably a couple others, Jordan, who if he hadn't got injured would have. There's probably one other guy, if I had to do it over again, would have played more, who played in 4 games. But, we want to stay aggressive. And if guys can help us get on the field and help us win games, we're going to play our best players.
All right, Coach Eck, 39 names on this list. I'm trying to study, memorize, and learn them all, and I stumble upon this Jason Eck dude, a 6 foot, 215-pound freshman linebacker from Moscow, Idaho, via Brookings High School in South Dakota. Jason Eck. I mean, did you get clearance from mom, and are you giving the kid a scholarship?
He is. He earned a scholarship. He really has worked hard. It's kind of full circle for him. He was born in Moscow, Idaho, when I was an assistant here back in 2004, and now he'll come back to play here. So he worked hard. He had about 7 or 8 Division II offers. Then Incarnate Word offered him as well in the FCS, and
nice.
And then we offered him. So we had a little competition for him, but that was an important one to get because Mom would not have let me live that one down if we didn't get that one. But I think he'll be able to help us. He's a physical player. Got to keep working on his straight out speed, but I think he can really change direction, play physical, and has a good nose for the football and was really productive. So excited to have him playing for us. He's worked really hard to put himself in this position.
Absolutely. He's a big kid too. I mean, he looks linebacker on it. And I'll tell you, man, Kimberly, I know how you deal with parents typically, Coach, which is you really don't deal with them. I wonder, Kimberly puts, hey man, if she's putting the pressure on you, I don't know how you're going to handle this, Coach. I know who wears the pants in the Eck house.
Hey, the best players are going to play, and I think Jackson's unselfish, so I think he'll even know, hey, if my role is just to be a special teams guy, I think he'll embrace it, whatever it is. But we'll see. He works hard, and excited to track him and follow him. And I think that's one of the thrills of becoming a head coach is getting to coach your son, and excited about that.
I can't wait to see it, and we can't wait for next year. We can't wait for spring ball. When does spring ball start, Coach? Do you know yet? First week?
Yeah, the last week of March. Our spring game is going to be Friday night, April 28th.
Cool.
And then we haven't quite hammered down the exact start date, but it'll be in the last week of March. We're still finalizing exactly when they're going to get the turf down for us, and we'll see how the weather turns around. It was about -4 here today in Moscow this morning, so we need some warmer temperatures because the snow up here is pretty thick right now.
Damn, man. They got 39 additions to the University of Idaho, part of the first full class Coach Jason Eck and his staff have put together, the most in the Big Sky. We can't wait. Coach, always appreciate your flexibility and the time to come on Idaho Sports Talk. Well done, man. Congratulations. We'll talk.
Appreciate it, Prater. Appreciate it, Ballgame. Thanks for having me on. V's up.
V's up, Coach Eck. All right. Big class there, and it's going to be fun, man. I love bringing that guy on, as you know.
Yes, sir.
Today we've had Cody Hawkins with Idaho State. We have Jason Eck with Idaho. We talked about hair braiding for Taylon Green, and we're getting him an NIL deal, we hope, from Dirk Cutter. But now let's hop on a soapbox or two. But first, a word from Michael Forrest Prater.
Yeah, and then JP's going to get us some news, and he's going to tell us about a new Boise State football coach announced just in the last couple minutes.
Oh, JP, let's get to it. Idaho Sports Talk, Prater The Ballgame.
This is Idaho Sports Talk with Prater and the Ballgame.